Hello everybody, today we will be going over a lines problem at the IB Math AISL level. So we have that the diagram below shows the straight lines L1 and L2. We need to find the gradient of L1 and the equation of L1, giving the answer in that form. So since we need to find the equation of L1, we might as well go for that immediately, which will give us the gradient. So we knock off two birds and one stone. In order to create a line, as you've seen in my other videos, you have the point slope form. Okay, this is usually the best way to create a line. See, there's some quicker ways, but this is the most reliable way. See, so point slope form asks for y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And so these things we need to get are a set of points, x1 and y1, see? And we also need the slope, see? So if we get those three things, we can use this and get to that. All right, that is the game plan right now. And so the tricky part in this problem is identifying which set of points can I even use in the first place. See, for m is my slope, m is my gradient. This is the same thing, see, slope gradient. I can use the slope formula, okay? And so the slope formula looks like this. y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Why is y on top and x on the bottom? Well, because we've always been told that slope is rise over run. See? So that's another way to remember it. See? So I actually need two sets of points in this scenario. So looking at L1, which is this guy over here, anytime you have a graph like this, you need to identify what are the reliable points I can use. See, because technically you can use that and that, but you'd be eyeballing, right? You'd be telling me, this is like 1.8 and 4,2, you'd be eyeballing it. See, that's what I mean by eyeballing. And so you need to find the set of points that is reliable, that you know for sure exist. Let me give you some examples and it's probably going to make a whole lot more sense. You know that this point here has to be 0,6, for example. See, you know that this point here has to be 8,0. I think those are the easiest ones to use, but if you do keep looking, you will find, for example, that point there. See, that point there is 4,3. We can also use that. See? Anyways, I will be using the extremes because I think it's a little more easier to deal with, the 0, 6 and the 8, 0. I'm going to plug into the slope over there and see what I get. So I will call this y2, this x2, this y1, this x1. Might as well be organized. 0 minus 6 divided by 8 minus 0. This gives me negative 6 over 8, which is the same as negative 3 over 4. So this is my slope for the first line, so I'm going to call it m1. See? So m1 is negative 3 over 4. We have this there. Do I have a set of points? I just used 2. I'm going to pick 0, 0,6, and I'm going to plug into point slope form. So using both of that pieces of information, we have y minus 6. I'm plugging in this point here, equals negative 3 over 4, the slope that we just got, times x minus 0. See? I start off by distributing on the right side, so I end up with this times this, negative 3 over 4x times 0, because anything times 0 is just 0, ¿cierto? All right, so that just kind of like goes away. I put the 6 over to the other side, y equals negative 3 over 4x plus 6, see? Why did I throw it onto the other side? Because this is the form that we usually want to get to in general, ¿cierto? Which is the y equals mx plus b form. This is a 6, by the way, let's not get confused. And this is exactly what the question is asking for. Leave it in this form there, see? So that is part A. So part A, part I would have been over here. Part A, part double I would have been over here. Now, they tell us that the equation of L2 is that, ¿cierto? And to find the area of the shaded triangle. Now, for the area of a triangle, see, we have to remember that it's base times height divided by 2. See? And so, essentially, I need to find this distance here, which would be the base, ¿cierto? I need to find the height here. And with that, I'm good to go. ¿Vale? The thing is, for the base, it's relatively easy. I mean, it goes from 0 to 8, so you can call this 8, right? So the base is 8. And the height is a little bit harder, right? So we need to get a little bit creative here and also ask ourselves, why did they give me the equation of the second line? Why is that useful? And so if you take a good look at the triangle, you can see that right where it intersects is right where the height is. Ah, where it intersects. So if I take L1 and equal it to L2, I can get this set of points here. And if I get this set of points here, I can work with that to try to get the height. See? That is the game plan. How did I reach that? Well, first of all, just repeating, I use what they give me. See? And I also notice that the intersect is right at the height. So, that being said, let's equal L1 and L2. So I'm gonna move this guy around a little bit. I will throw the 2y to the other side, so we have 2y equals x. I want to get y alone, so I end up with y equals x divided by 2. See? So this is my line for L2. This is my line for L1. And I will equal them to each other, ¿cierto? Following what I stated up there. I'm going to make a little bit of space so we can play around. And I will plug in L1 equals L2. All right, so we have x divided by 2 equals negative 3 over 4x plus 6. See? Now we're going to try to get x alone, ¿cierto? Now, anytime you have fractions on the bottom like this, I think it's usually easier to do this thing called amplify. And you just kind of like multiply the bottom, ¿cierto? So I'm going to start by multiplying everything by 4 because it's my biggest one. Just kind of like see what happens. So I do x over 2 times 4 equals negative 3 over 4x times 4 plus 6 times 4. See? So if I do that, this guy goes away, this guy turns into 2, this guy goes away with this guy, and these two just kind of melt together. See? So I end up with 2x equals negative 3x plus 24. See? Suddenly this is much easier to work with just because I got rid of the fractions, right? 5x equals 24, x equals 24 divided by 5. See? Awesome, awesome. I can turn it to decimal, I can do whatever I want. Anyways, I just got this point here, ¿cierto? So that over there is 24 divided by 5. Now I still need the height, ¿cierto? So for this set of points, for the height, I just identified that it's 24 over 5, comma something, ¿cierto? Comma the height. So how can I get that comma something? Well, I plug this in to one of my lines. I can plug it into L1 or L2 because both lines have that point. See? I think it's a little bit easier to plug into L2 just because, I mean, look at it. See? It's easier to deal with. So, plugging in to L2, once again, making a little bit of space. We said that L2 was y equals x divided by 2. Y equals 24 over 5 divided by 2 over 1. This ends up being 24 divided by 10. You can do all of this in your calculator anyway, but at the end of the day, it's 2.4. See? So your y is 2.4. All right, so that is my height of my triangle. It is 2.4. Now I am good to go with the area of the triangle, which we said way, way back earlier, was this here, right? Base times height divided by 2. We got our base, which was 8. We got our height, which was 2.4. And we're going to plug in, ¿cierto? So if we plug in, we have that the area is 8 times 2.4 divided by 2. See? Now, of course, that's a little more complicated, so I'm going to pull out the calculator. Da, da, da. 8 times 2.4 divided by 2. And that gives me 9.6. So the area is going to be 9.6. Don't forget the units. Units squared. See? Ladies and gentlemen, that is how you solve this problem. I think the biggest hints here, which can be applied to any exercise really, is that whenever they give you information, they give it to you for a reason. See? Especially in the IB, the information they give you is usually relevant. It's usually useful. So you gotta get creative, see what works, right? And also finding the area of a shaded triangle, I'm sure it can be intimidating, but you gotta go piece by piece, right? What is the formula of area of a triangle? What information do I have? What information do I need to get? Follow the process, and you will, you know, you'll always get there. See? All right. I hope it helped. I'll see you around. Take it easy.